morning, and good evening to everyone in the West. So good to have you all here. I see Susan and Kogi and many others joining us. So, well, it's a powerful day. Every day is a powerful day if you're in your right mind in God, isn't it? But if you're not in your right mind in God, well, there's suffering. But it's exceptionally powerful today because of the Lion's Gate portal. Now, in time and space, the Spirit will use symbols because in truth, we're not really existing anywhere but in the mind of God. But to help us understand all that and get to the point of knowing that our Redeemer lives in our right mind in God and waking up to our I am presence, well, we are just what Jesus calls time travelers. We are on a journey in time, but one without distance. Why is that? Because the resurrection has already occurred. Oh, and there goes the light. I know, it's so funny. So the resurrection has already occurred in our right mind. Yeah, but the sleeping mind. And Jesus also tells us in the Course that, the mind fell asleep and it hasn't awakened yet. Awakened to what? We are saved. We are already redeemed. Our bodies are in our minds, not the other way around. So the symbol that the Spirit will use today is the Lion's Gate portal. Now, I just love that picture that Jamie put up with the lion. When you look at it, it's just so powerful. Lions are symbols of courage and strength. And I know when we go to the ashram, we always, I did anyway, there would be Sai Baba sitting and beside him 2 golden lions. So powerful, powerful symbols of strength and courage and, dignity and power. Yeah. So it's the Lion's Gate. And what is the Lion's Gate? Well, it's actually it's considered to be a portal, and by the ancients for, thousands of years really, because it coincides today with the new moon, as you know, but it is the rising of the star Sirius, which was considered to be a spiritual sun, S-U-N. And so the ancients, when Sirius would rise in the sky, they would go into celebration and ritual, and they knew it was a time of great manifesting. And to the Egyptians, Sirius coincides with the goddess Isis, as Orion coincides or relates to Osiris. So when Sirius would rise in the sky, it's almost like the great mother, the spiritual sun, the light of the world is here with us. And that light of the world is your right mind lit up with the presence of the Spirit. And the symbol of that would be, well, that's flashing. Someone's trying to get my attention. Let me fix that. What's going on?
Just turn it off. I think it's the electricity.
Oh yeah, wonky electricity. Okay. But Isis is the Divine Mother, and she's the symbol of the Holy Spirit in our right mind in God. And then, of course, the different aspects of the Mother in the pantheon of netters or goddesses in the Egyptian teaching would be Sekhmet or Hathor. All the different goddesses that we see, Goddess Mat, all of them we see. We could say Kuan Yin and Mother Mary and Athena and the many other goddesses. They're just different aspects of the one. So today we will be traveling through this portal, through this doorway or pathway into eternity with the Divine Mother at our side, and the symbol that we'll use is beautiful Sekhmet. Now, I love her. She's just got the body of a powerful, it's almost androgynous. She's got the body of an androgynous, powerful man, woman. And She has the face of a lioness, and her love is ferocious, just like the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit's love is ferocious, and it's for one and all. It's agape love, and she's interested in a win-win with everyone in these holy relationships. And she's just the powerful energy of God's Spirit moving in our lives, and always available to us. And in fact, Jesus said, I am the embodiment of the Spirit, the Mother, Father, God. So, and when we look around the world, I think what we really see is the Mother is missing, isn't she? The Holy Spirit is missing. We see this patriarchal force, one-sided, lopsided dictatorship. We see it everywhere. Maybe you see it in your own home, right? In that, the need to be a control freak. But the Mother, when the Spirit is present, there's a wonderful balance. She's soft, and her strength is soft, she's highly compassionate and always in tune with the Creator. So she brings the balance into our relationships, into our thought process. Yeah, without the Spirit, well, we're just, addicted, and we're in the ego's world, and we're in the body, identified with the body, and this filter over our eyes is what we're looking through, and everything we see is an interpretation based on the fear in our mind. Oh my God. So without the Spirit, we're completely lost. And we want to travel with the Spirit through this symbol of the Lion's Gate into eternity. And in fact, they say that this time on the planet, especially today, because the rising of Sirius, the planet, a spiritual sun, is coinciding with the new moon. And we all know a new moon is a new beginning. And but with the rising of the spiritual sun, this is really about manifesting energy. And it's about setting our intentions. And being that it's in Leo, this is occurring in Leo. Leo rules the heart. So it's really about manifesting what's in your heart. Not your head, not I think I should, but the heart. I feel, I'm getting the feeling, and I'm being inspired to, this is the Spirit in your heart. So we're being asked with this energy to bring forth that which is in your heart. And if you don't know, then it's a time to sit and be in your heart. And if you still don't know, maybe to place your hand over your heart and say, well, what does my heart say? Does this choice that I'm about to make, this decision, does it bring me into the eternal now? Does it bring me into eternity with God? Does this choice or this decision that I'm making, does it bring me peace? And only the Spirit in your heart knows that. The mind is a mad monkey. It'll just tell you, yeah, do it. You need more money, you need this, you need that. It'll send you out into the world seeking for things that'll never make you happy. As I called the title of this session today, joy has no cost, and joy comes from Spirit. Joy has no cost. It's effortless. I know. And we're just so addicted to struggle. We love struggle. Well, we hate struggle, but we kind of are addicted to it. It seems like normal, but it's not. No. Effortlessness is normal when you're in alignment with the Spirit. So we want to travel through this portal with the Spirit, and we want to set our intention. Now, if the ego sets intentions, those intentions are, I'm going to get up tomorrow at 8 o'clock, or I'm going to get up at 6 a.m., or I'm going to get up at whatever time, and I'm going to do this, this, and this. That's my intention. Well, Okay, if you set intentions in time and space, then, okay, not bad or good, right? But what if you set your intention to merge with your I am presence? What if that was your intention? Whoa. Well, the I am presence in you is the Son of God in you, which offers you everything. Oh, okay. So if I set my intention today to merge with my I am presence, then I am saved from having to set my intentions in the world of time and space. So it's effortless because that beautiful I am presence, the spirit in me, will direct me. How about that? You won't have to think about, should I go here? Should I do this? Should I do that? You won't even have to think about it. It will be revealed. So if the ego sets intentions, well, but if you set your intentions with the spirit, this is different. So I think today is a good day to set our intention to merge with our Holy Christ self, to merge with the spirit in my right mind. That's what these goddesses and gods, the netters, they're called, which are natures, the natures of the one, expressed in the symbol of Sekhmet, who, as I started to say, is ferocious in her loving, in that, she has one focus, and that's to wake the sleeping mind, to wake it up and help us to realize, to recognize that, oh, my body is in my mind. My mind is not in my body. That's what she's doing. So with this rising of the star, the spiritual sun Sirius, we have the divine mother Sekhmet at our side. Yep, we're going to walk with her. Take this journey without a distance, which is resurrecting our mind to be in the right mind with God, with everything. That's where we're going. So it's a powerful day, isn't it? And, I think with so much going on externally, we see this reflection of a mind that's, addicted to fear. It's just addicted to fear. And when we gather every Sunday, I love coming together to do this. It's like an addict who goes to a meeting for recovery. You go to your meeting once a week to get some spiritual food, to get some soul food that's so required and necessary in these times, because it's so easy to slip into stinking thinking, as they say, and start entertaining fear. And fear is a killer. It doesn't exist, but because we are programmed to believe that this external world, with all its insane laws, look at the laws in the external world. They're insane laws. And they're so confusing. I mean, look at the laws being set now. You know what I'm talking about. There's so many laws, so many rules, and nobody really knows the rules. It's like this, they say this today and that tomorrow, this country this, that country that. There's no consistency, because in the world of duality, in the world of the ego, there is no consistency. The only consistency is the peace in your right mind in God. But we keep avoiding that. What is that? What is that about? We keep avoiding that. It's like, if we can't see it, if it's not tangible, then we want it to be dramatic, some drama that we can get all scared about. And that's driving us all crazy. So, in the right mind in God, as we go through the portal and we enter into the right mind in God, which is nowhere out there. It's not like we're going to go, swimming through the atmosphere. I mean, we do that. We make it a story. We make it an external creation. But really, you're going nowhere. You're just in your right mind in God, accepting that I am the resurrection and the life. Yeah. And then you're under the laws of spirit, which transcend time and space and defy gravity. Yeah. So we have to, give up this addiction to wanting the world to be scary and worry. We worry about, what am I going to do next week? What if? Well, next week isn't here yet. I mean, really, we talked about that planet the other day, remember, in soul astrology? What if the planet Nibiru hits our Earth, knocks it off its axis, knocks you off? There you go. And all that worrying was for senseless. Because anything can happen, right? But joy has no cost. Absolutely no cost. None. And that's where we're going to go. And then we're going to talk about, so we'll start with a meditation and get ourselves all centered and, take in that energy of the Lion's Gate with Mother Sekhmet. And then we're going to talk about the lesson, which is a review lesson. And again, don't underestimate the goodness of a review lesson, because it's filled with juicy little tidbits that Jesus didn't talk about in the lessons back. He adds more as the book goes on. So it's lesson 83, and the two lessons that we'll be reviewing are based on number 1, lesson 65. And we've done that lesson, but it's a review, and it says, my only function is the one God gave me. My only function. Your function is not to figure it out. God didn't give you that function. Your job isn't to figure it out. What are you trying to figure out in time and space? That'll drive you crazy, right? Your only function is to accept the atonement, because it has your answer. Oh, and we'll go deeper into that. And then also review lesson 66, which says, my happiness and my function are one. Why is that? Because your happiness comes from God, the source, your I am presence. And your function, which is forgiveness, in order to be in the atonement, to accept your function as that's forgiveness. It's total forgiveness of the whole dream and all the people in it and all the things you made real. Forgive it all. It is the Christ, I am, Holy Spirit in you that does the forgiveness through you. I know, because the you think you are is made up. You're just a construct. You made yourself up with all these ideas about who you are. And they're pretty crazy, right? Oh, you tell yourself, I'm useless. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I can't. Oh my God, poor me. I'm unfairly treated. I'm a victim. And yeah, can you relate to that? All the things you tell yourself. Oh, I'm ugly. How about that one? People say to me, oh my God, I looked back at my photos when I was 30 and I saw I was pretty hot. I was pretty cute. Why didn't I see it then? And now that I'm 50, it's like, oh God, the story that we tell ourselves. It's insane. I don't have the muscles I used to have. If you're a man, I used to be able to do this. And oh my God, I didn't recognize. Which eye is doing the recognizing, right? So we turn our body into a beautiful vehicle serving the one, serving the sonship. Yeah, it's totally different. So my happiness, which is one with God, and my function, which is forgiveness and accepting the atonement, they come from the same place. Not from the made-up me. They come from spirit. They come from the Christ in my right mind. Yay! Thank God. There's something higher in me that can do all things through me. Hallelujah. We're going there today when we go through the Lion's Gate. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about just some excerpts from chapter 11, which is based on God or the ego. Which one should I go for? God, who offers me everything, or the ego, who is a complete, insane, crazy person, because that's what we are when we're identified with the ego. We are crazy. So God or ego, waking to redemption. Waking to Redemption. So there's some good excerpts coming from that chapter, along with our 2 review lessons. So we're going to get started first, though, with that beautiful going within and taking a journey without a distance. How about that? With Goddess Sekhmet. So it's going to be good. So with that, let's just go ahead and close your eyes. And we begin, as always, by focusing on our breathing. The breath keeps you present. Inhale love, exhale the past. Inhale everything God, and exhale the ego, the made up you, the body. We breathe it out. We let everything go. And we just settle in and breathe. Inhaling love, exhaling fear. And we think about this beautiful day, August 8th. And we are using the symbol of the Lion's Gate portal. It's the rising of the beautiful sun, Sirius, the spiritual sun. And we are wanting to understand that we are expressions of pure love. We want to understand that. We want to use this time in meditation to accept the authentic truth about ourselves, to self-actualize as people of God. That's our wish. That's our intention. And we feel a deep appreciation for the ancients, those that traveled on a timeline. Ancient civilizations who actually tracked the star, the rising of Sirius. They believed that it was a powerful time of abundance and rebirth and spiritual advancement. A time that we can shift into the highest frequencies of love. So just breathe that in. This is an energy to advance in your spiritual progress, to advance and to shift into higher frequencies. And if we're thinking of the number 8 and how it represents spiritual intelligence, 8 with today's date being the 8th of August. So we have the beautiful light code, you could say, of 88, which is infinity, eternity, and the activation of our DNA, moving us from carbon-based mentality to crystalline energy. On this day, we can integrate these very high frequencies of the energies of our spiritual sun. Sirius, the symbol of our spiritual sun, which is in our heart. And we can integrate that right into every cell in our body. The beautiful Sirius energy is a key today. The key that unlocks the mysteries hidden in our right mind, hidden away from us because we are so attached and addicted to fear. So they're really not hidden. It's just that the filter of the ego is over your heart. It's covered your heart. And so take a breath and breathe in these beautiful light code or light codes of the number 88. And that we are here to merge with our Holy Christ self and to walk with the beautiful goddess in the form of Mother Sekhmet here with us right now. Feel the power and presence of beautiful Mother Sekhmet. Here with us with her ferocious love, reminding us that we are not the body, that we are made in the image and likeness of our Creator. Breathing in love and breathing out fear. Tell yourself, today I am a time traveler. I have been walking on this timeline, as have my ancient time travelers. And there are so many people that come from different solar systems and different parallel realities. And to know that everything is simultaneous. Everything is simultaneous. As you breathe in love and breathe out fear, see beside you Mother Sekhmet, this beautiful lion-headed goddess. And she comes from Sirius, the spiritual sun, the daughter of Ra, powerful goddess, ferocious in her love. And she walks with you, taking this journey on the timeline today, without a distance, because you have never left the mind of God, but because you believe you have. You need the strength and the grace and a symbol of truth to be with you, to gently wake you up from the slumber you've been in. Caught in third dimension, trapped like a spider trapping a fly on a web, believing you're trapped. seeing all around you in the external world, conflict everywhere. It's a spiritual war. But as we walk with the Mother, the Lion's Gate portal opens. And we are able to download your potential from a soul level, from the soul. And so we breathe in love and we exhale fear, and we set our intention with this powerful goddess at our side to merge with our holy Christ self in our right mind. That's the powerful, the most powerful and beneficial intention. That will bring you everything. It will bring you joy, and joy has no cost. The joy that you think will bring you peace and happiness and everlasting life will not. Because nothing in third dimension is lasting. Mother Sekhmet says, the pain that you've been through, the pleasure you seek, none of it will bring you anything. It hasn't brought you anything. And so she says, let me take you and walk with you on this pathway to eternity. She says, I will lead you to the resurrection of your mind out of fear into love. And she reminds you that that's already been accomplished. She says, I am your resurrection and your life. As Christ Jesus said, you live in me because you live in God. Jesus being a symbol for the resurrection. And so today we are waking to redemption with the Divine Mother. And so see yourself in this dark, dark space. It can be any space. It's just darkness all around you. And that's where we live in third dimension. When you're identified with the body, it's dark. It's fear-based. And the ego's laws govern your life. And the role you play, you identify with. And you struggle within it. It's dark. It's painful. And so we look at that and we feel that heaviness that comes from identifying with fear, the body, the world, the ego. And with the divine, powerful, ferocious lover of life, eternal life, Mother Sekhmet, we release all concepts of what this world is about. And we release every belief that we hold about time. We release every belief about the body, sickness, and death. We even let go of the belief in chakras and body parts and private minds. We let go of everything, every belief, every concept, we just drop it. Because we are going through the doorway, the portal, into eternity, where there's just pure light, love, everlasting joy. And the only reason that we find ourselves sad in third dimension is because we miss God. We miss Spirit. We miss the eternal love that we are. That's why we're sad. And so we set our intention to rise up out of this darkness and to merge with God, with light, with love. Mother Sekhmet says, you know, everything in linear time, everything in your life is a construct. It's a matrix that you've plugged into. She said, just accept the atonement. The resurrection has already occurred. The past is gone. The future is but imagined. That ego filter over your heart, over your mind. She says, drop it all. Every ego defense that you hold against truth. She says, from here on in, with every decision that you need to make in your life, ask, does this bring me eternity? Does this bring me a feeling of everlasting life? And so from this dark place, this attachment to fear, this attachment to sadness, and the attachment to the drama and the suffering, she says, take my hand. Take her hand. It's powerful. Mother. And she raises you up out of that tomb of darkness into the most glorious light. And it's not a place. It's in you. It's in your mind. Remember, your body's in your mind. Your mind is not in your body. You, the beautiful, perfect you, is in your mind. So she raises you up into this glorious light. There's no conflict here, none. You are free from all conflict when you're here. It belongs to you. And on this day, you can manifest a conflict-free life on earth, in the body, as long as you are in the body. It can be conflict-free. And in this glorious light in your right mind, you even recognize with the mother, she says, look, there's no hierarchy of problems here. But you have, in that dark world that you attach to, there's so many problems. Some are big, some are really big. She said, no. One problem, beloved, you left this glorious light that I'm in with you now. You forgot. She said, and then you believe you're a body. Uh-oh. Now you're stuck in the dream world, thinking you're separate from your brothers and sisters in God. Caught in 3D, making it so real. She says, but look with me. We're in the light. We've gone through the portal of the Lion's Gate together into eternity. And from this place, you can recognize that all your problems come from body identification. You recognize from this place of love with compassion that you were caught in a dream, making it so real. She reminds you, you can't do this without me, she says. You cannot. For I am the power and the glory and the love in your right mind that does everything through you. She says, and once you get this, once you really wake up, you will see that joy has no cost. Do you want joy? Do you want the peace of God? That's the question. Take a breath and relax and sink even deeper into this glorious light, this peace, this eternal moment of everything possible, quantum God. This is really what you want. And the Divine Mother says in this moment, give me all your beliefs. You are in the glory and the light. Hand them over. I will dispel every belief you hold. I'll do that. You of yourself can't do that because you think you're a body. But I'm in you, and I'll do that through you. So hand it all over. Give me your beliefs. Your belief in sickness, your belief in death, your belief in conflict, your belief in all the nonsense that's going on. Give it all to me. Just take a minute and think about all the beliefs you have. I'm afraid because that's coming from a belief. All the constructs that you've made up. Just take a minute and know what they are. You're in this power right now. Manifesting good, but you got to hand over what's not good. What you believe is not good. Your beliefs, constructs, your concepts of yourself and the world. Ooh, scared. And go for the correction. It's a mistaken belief that you're a body. That's what Mother Sekhmet says. That's why you suffer. Because you really believe that you're a body. So we need that mistaken belief corrected. And Mother Sekhmet takes all these, the Spirit takes all of this and she dispels all these beliefs. She just shines light on it, and she changes your mind for you in this eternal portal that you're now in this light. You see it differently now, don't you? You're none of it. It's almost laughable that you made yourself so scared. You did that. Mother says you want fear to be real, so you scare yourself. But what if you wanted the atonement? What if you wanted me, the light, love, in your right mind? What if you only wanted that? Joy has no cost. So just feel for a minute as you release all your fears about the future. They're based on concepts. You told yourself something. But what self are we talking about? A self that does not exist. You told yourself something. You're following laws, says the Mother, that keep you afraid. There are no laws in the kingdom. And you are in the kingdom now in the light with me as love. And I'll send you back out into the world to demonstrate, as did Christ Jesus, that you are beyond the body. Yeah, you're in the body on this timeline, but you are here to serve the Creator and to play your role and your part in the healing of the sonship. You are in complete service beyond personal addictions, beyond personal interests. It becomes about the whole. And we're learning this as we undo all of these fear-based beliefs and thoughts, concepts. We undo them by giving them to our beautiful Mother Sekhmet. And right here in this light, just be willing to imagine that you have no problems, none. Just visualize now your life with no problems. Because in truth, you don't have any problems. Mother says, you don't have any problems. Wake up, wake up. Merge with truth today. These energies are alive. Manifest the heart love that you are. May your intention be oneness. Oneness. You're full of the Christ light right here, right now. You're filled with that Christ light. So all those beliefs, hand them over. You see, right here, you've accepted the atonement. Time collapses. That's the miracle. You've accepted the atonement. And your loving intention now is to join with God's will and to accept that I am what God made. I am that. And then there's no more guilt here, no shame, no resentment. Feel your innocence. Feel your innocence. Mother Sekhmet says, feel your innocence. You're an innocent, guiltless, wonderful being of joy. Take a breath and remind yourself that I am what the Spirit is telling me. That's what's true. And feel this light around you in the eternity, in this moment, in this eternal moment. That the light you feel around you carries a very calm and serene energy with it. There's no shadows, there's no darkness. Your mistaken belief in body, world, all of it is gone, because your intention is to identify with your Christed self, your holy Christed self, with the Mother beside you. It is the Mother who encourages the miracle. The Mother who encouraged Jesus, the Christ, to turn the water into wine. It is the Spirit. And allow that love, that light love, love light, to flow through you and out into the world. And this powerful energy of the Lion's Gate, Mother Sekhmet reminds us, is with us in a powerful way for the next 4 days 3 days, 4 days. This is a powerful time to manifest your intention of oneness. And as you breathe in, breathe out, say to yourself, I am the light of the world. And I am so grateful for that. I am so grateful for that. And that you have, in this acceptance, you will conform to nothing, to no one. You will not conform to the ego's demands because you are the light of the world. So just take a moment, and as you have released your beliefs and these concepts, the fear about the body, just feel that light. Feel that light. It's so serene. It's luminous. It's filled with joy. Joy is your nature. Mother Sekhmet says joy has no cost. And as you allow that joy to fill everything, your heart, your mind, your body, everything, you become a teacher of God because you do not believe in darkness anymore. You see it there, but you deny its power. And so now the Spirit says, are you ready? Are you ready to go back into the body, so to speak? And do as Jesus did, do as Buddha did, and be an example of love in the world. Working tirelessly, if you will, to uphold truth and love for the entire sonship, forgiving every brother and sister because you know nothing is real in the dream world, and that you are a walking, living bodhisattva with a divine mother and a legion of angels with you, serving, because we all go to heaven or none of us go. We all go together because everybody is you. And so you're serving the entire sonship. You are what God created. You are what God said you are. Whole and perfect and beautiful, joyous. And now you serve with no personal interests. How beautiful is that? And it's easy and brings you only joy because it is the Spirit doing it through you. That's what we can manifest in this merging into oneness as we are in this portal of light. So we take a really big breath here. Accepting. Heavenly Father, Mother God, it is with so much gratitude that I offer my life to you. I have been so wrong about myself for so long. And today, I offer all of my mistaken beliefs about myself and the world to you. I give you everything so I can have everything. I want to be undone. And so I offer you my life. These thoughts, fears, I give it all to you. And I ask you to direct my life in every way. I pray for guidance. And I pray for the strength and courage exemplified in this symbol of Mother Sekhmet to walk in ferocious, caring, supporting and being in spirit, in service, beyond my personal interest, beyond the body, beyond time and space. But to be in the world and not of it, serving only the light, serving only love. That is my prayer today. That is my prayer. I'm going for eternity, God. That's what I want. And Divine Mother Sekhmet, with you at my side, I can not fail. I will not fail. For these next 3 days, my commitment is, this is your prayer, everyone. My commitment is and when you have sincerity in your heart for truth, watch the miracles unfold in your life. Joy has no cost. I have immense gratitude, God, for your glory. Immense gratitude. And I just thank you for my life. May I serve your will in all that I am and in all that I do from this day forth. And so it is. In your heart, say amen. And when you feel ready, just open your eyes and look at the lion on the screen. Connecting with the eyes of the lion. That lion is not external. That lion is in you. It's in your right mind in God. The strength of a lion, the courage and the faith, the tenacity and the endurance of the lion. And you see that vertical beam of light. You are on that vertical beam with the lion-hearted self. As you look at that, claim that for yourself for the rest of the day. Put a smile on your face, because joy has no cost. Joy has absolutely no cost. Hi everyone, and welcome back. Did you feel that? I could feel that. I could just feel, especially looking at the lion, with the powerful symbol. And again, it's not outside of us. These lions, these symbols in the world are wonderful symbols of what's happening inside of us. The strength, you know. It's like when we look at a dolphin. I love dolphins. Dolphins are symbols of joy. Dolphins are, yeah, Susan, yeah, beautiful. The dolphins. We think of all the animals and what they represent. And in shamanism, you know, there's all the totem animals and the different animals and creatures that we relate to, and they all have this wonderful meaning. It's so sweet, isn't it? We can use all the symbols, like the Spirit says, I'll use all the symbols in the dream world to wake you up. It's all about waking up. And today we're waking to redemption. Wow, how wonderful. So the lion, the beautiful goddess, the lioness becomes our symbol. Yeah. So hi, Dina. Aw, I miss you, Dina. Thank you, Yvette. Yeah. Yeah. So beautiful. So have you accepted now that your only function is to merge with the divine. That's your only function. To forgive the dream and to merge with your holy self. Oh, if only. We're all in recovery. We have just fragmented our spirit. We've made ourselves sick. Literally, physically sick. Mentally. Thank you, Dina. Yeah, we've made ourselves crazy. I know. Hi, Lisa. Hi there. I love this screen that we have. I can see you now. It's wonderful. Yeah. So, and to think about joy has no cost. And joy comes from merging with your holy Christ self. Oh, it doesn't cost you anything, and it offers you everything. We need it, guys. This world is rocking and rolling. It's just the insane reflection of the desire to be separate from God. Remember, we focus on what we desire. We put it there by our thoughts. Oh, good Lord, look at the world. We put it there by our thoughts. So, oh my. Okay. Hi, Michael. So good to see you. Yeah. Well, let's look at our lesson. We'll go there first because it's a review. And my dear friend Yvette always says, repetition, right? Repetition is the mother of invention. We can't hear it enough. So Jesus says in this review lesson, my only function is the one that God gave me. And you know what? There's nothing else. You think there's so many other things, right? My function is to get a job. My function is to graduate from university with the highest marks. My function is to be the best at what I'm doing. That's my function. No, your function is the one God gave you, because you are what came out of God's divine will when he said, let there be light. You came out of that with one function: to accept the atonement and to forgive your mistaken belief that you could be something other than that. So that's the only function there is. All right, well, that's good to know. It's not complicated. I have no function but the one God gave me. This recognition releases me from all conflict. Now, if you're having difficulties in your relationships, anybody? It is a direct reflection of the conflict in your mind. The conflict in your mind is that you want to be love and fear to be true. You want both to be true. That's the conflict. You want to be a body and a spirit. That's the conflict. And if you want to be a body, well, then you're going to be at war with other bodies. If you're identified with the body, and I want to have a private mind, and I want what I want when I want it, well, so does that other body. That other body wants what it wants when it wants it too. Now you have conflict. But where did it start? In the mind. But when we accept our function, the only function, which is forgiveness, well, that just releases you from everything. Because once you forgive the dream, when you forgive the mistaken identity that you have actually, separated from God, well, where are you now? You are in your right mind. There's no conflict in the right mind in God. It's just a place of pure joy, peace. It's wonderful. And you don't have, as Jesus says in this next line, because it means I cannot have conflicting goals. So we have conflicting goals. If I'm only serving one goal, which is only love is real, that's the only goal, and I make peace my goal, well, there's no conflict in that. I make peace my goal. So be it. Well, now just look at the decisions you made today or yesterday, the choices that you made. you know, there was conflict. Because when you make one goal the only function you have, which is to forgive all this craziness and to get back into alignment, then you will be told what to do, what to say, where to go, blah, blah, blah. You'll have no conflict. So the conflict is you want two things to be true. You can only have love as truth or fear as truth, which doesn't exist, but because you believe you're a body with all these concepts that you made up and all these beliefs, and you got your little private mind going on and all that stuff you have going on in the dream world, because you made that all real, oh my God, now you got conflict. Because somewhere there's the memory of God in your mind. Somewhere there's the memory of, oh, I just want peace, somewhere. But you haven't decided that's your goal, peace. Okay. Jesus says, with one purpose only, I am always certain what to do. Oh, you know, love isn't complicated at all. Love is simplicity. When you find yourself confused, you're in a complex situation. You're not anywhere. You're in the dream world, making up more pain, more suffering, more complexity, more conflict. But Jesus says, with one purpose only, I'm always certain what to do, because my purpose is forgiveness. Let go of that. Give that, the mistaken belief that I'm a body. Give the mistaken belief that your past is going to get you and you're a bad person because of what you did when you were 22. You give all that to the Spirit. You give it all up. And the Spirit helps you see things differently. You see your part. You see everything. You see the truth. You see what was really going on. And what was really going on that timeline, the past, mistaken identity. You thought you were a body. You identified with it. And now you had to defend against it. You had to make sure you protected this made-up self. And now you're in these wars with people. You've got special relationships, money issues, sickness, belief in death. You got all this fear going on. Oh, it's wild. So with one purpose, which is peace. So I'm going for peace. So does this decision I have to make bring me a state of peace? No? Well, then don't make it, because it's not coming from Spirit. It's coming from you trying to figure it out. If you're trying to figure it out, you're going to suffer. So my goal is peace. One function. Forgive this. Give it over. I'm going for peace. And I am always certain what to do, what to say, and what to think. Jesus keeps repeating this all through the course because we are sleeping. And people say, yeah, I already know that course. No. Knowledge comes from experience. Knowledge, true knowledge, comes from embodying and being the words, not reading the words, being the words. Think of it this way. Jesus, he, in the story of Jesus's life, he disappeared for 12 years. There was a part in there, it's like, well, where's Jesus? He was gone for 12 years. And it said that he traveled and he learned and he was reading books, He was being taught by different mystics and whatnot. And then he shows up again. And so he's attained all this information. But it hasn't become knowledge, truth. It hasn't gotten in yet. But it's there. Just like us, we read the Course, we read the Bhagavad Gita, we read the Vedas, we read the Upanishads, we read the books about Krishna and Buddha and all Dhammapada. We read all these things and wow, we feel like, the spiritual ego gets real big because it's like, I know a lot. But Jesus went up the mountain, right? He was tempted in the desert. He went through all that stuff. And then he went to the mountain, where Elijah stood on one side and Moses stood on the other side, and Jesus' body was filled with light. Well, he just didn't say, well, bye, now that I get it, and now that I'm embodying it, and I've merged with the Holy Christ self and the Spirit in me and all this, and I don't need to be here and see you later. Nope. He went back down the mountain into the sonship. He went into the world to serve as love. He was embodying truth because he accepted the atonement while he was in the body. And now he could be used as a clear and perfect channel to be to heal the sonship. He said, when you have seen me, you have seen the Father. He wasn't just blabbering and preaching. He embodied it. That's knowledge. So he became this instrument in the world. And that is why the resurrection is complete. The crucifixion, the resurrection, we'll get into that. It's all done. Jesus showed us. See? In truth, I was never born. And in truth, I never died. It's a story. It's a dream world. But this is how you do it, guys. Watch me, he said. All right. So he says, all doubt must disappear as I acknowledge that my only function is the one God gave me, which is to forgive. Give everything you think you know, everything you think, all the beliefs that you hold, give them over. That's what that means. That's what that means. From chapter 24, Jesus says, forget not that the healing of God's Son is all the world is for. That's it. The healing of God's Son. That's all you're here for. Nothing else. You think your function is so many things. It's not. It's for the healing of God's Son. That is the only purpose the Holy Spirit sees in it. Sekhmet, well, you say, Sekhmet's going, you know what? The only purpose you're here is for the healing of God's Son. That's it. And thus, the only one it has. Until you see the healing of God's Son as all you wish to be accomplished by the world, by time and all appearances, you will not know the Father nor yourself. Wow. All I want, the Christ in me, wants to serve the sonship, the healing of the world. You go beyond personal interests. Private mind, private thoughts, private this, private that, private parts, all that. It's no more of that. But you can only do that when you have completely forgiven the world. When you have forgiven your dream world and given it all up and realized, I am here to walk as the light of the world. I go up the mountain, I've gathered the information as I, in the valley, and then I climb the mountain and it's like, eureka, I get it, I've merged. When Jesus gave the Beatitudes, he was on the mount with Elijah and Moses. His body turned to light. It was a transfiguration, but it didn't stop there. He served. He went back down and brought the light into the sonship. Wow, how beautiful is that? Then he goes on to say, my perception of this does not change my function. We got to apply what we're learning. So he says, my perception of this does not change my function. This does not give me a function other than the one God gave me. No matter what is happening in this dream world, it's all going to be used to wake you up. That's the only reason. It's for your awakening. That's it. Not to play house, not to get married and have babies. Of course we do all that, but it's all used to wake you up, to return your mind to its rightful place. And Jesus reminds us in the text, he says, I have saved all your kindnesses and every loving thought you ever had. So while you're over here dancing in darkness, all your kindness, all the loving thoughts you ever had are saved. They're there for you. I have purified them, he said. I have purified them of the errors that hid their light and kept them for you in their own perfect radiance. So, while you're dancing in darkness, all of this is kept for you. Like, you can't lose. There's no losing. There's no loss because you never left heaven. Let me not, Jesus says, whatever's going on in your life right now, say to yourself, let me not use this to justify a function that God did not give me. So whatever's happening, don't let me use this to justify a function in this dream world that God didn't give me. God didn't give you the function to do this or that, or get that job, or get married to that person. God didn't give you that function. That function that you got involved in can be used for healing, but God didn't give it to you. God gave you one function: to forgive the dream and to accept the atonement. Next lesson, which is the focus on Review 66, says, my happiness and function are one. We have to come to realize, to know that happiness does not come from anything in this world. We experience pain. All kinds of things cause us pain. We lose money. Oh my God. I get sick. I have this. I have that. So then I do this and I do that and I seek for pleasure. Oh, if I move here, I'm going to be happy. If I get this, I'm going to be better. If I this and that. Nothing in this world, absolutely nothing, will bring us happiness. My happiness and my function are one. The only thing that's going to bring us happiness is forgiveness, because forgiveness offers you everything. Oh my gosh. And happiness, you can't have happiness as long as you hold guilt in your mind. Guilt is the mistaken belief that you love God. And the guilt then fragments. You hide it. It's like, oh God, I'm guilty. I love God. Oh, he's going to punish me. So you hide your guilt, throw it on your family members, throw it on your neighbors, throw it on even your dog, your cat. You throw it out. You hide from guilt. As long as you have guilt in the mind, you won't be happy. Forgiveness says, give your guilt up. Recognize that you could never be separate from God. Guilt in the mind is your sadness. Guilt in the mind is your sickness. Guilt in the mind is death. Guilt in the mind is pain. My goodness. All things that come from God are one. They come from oneness and must be received as one. So, I am what God created. When God declared, let there be, well, there I came. I'm the beloved Son. And when I'm open to receive that, when you sit today in this Lion's Gate portal and you receive that truth, now you give that truth. Because to receive that truth is to give it. Because when you receive the truth of God, you become so full of joy, so full of love. It spills over. My cup runneth over, and you just want to share it. If you're not sharing love, if you're not extending, you haven't received it. That's what that means. You haven't received it. You have cut yourself off from that divine flow of everything. And so how can you share it? No, you'll share the ego's demands. You'll share, based on what you think you are and what you think you have to protect and defend. You'll share from that. But if I sit today and I receive truth, I am, wow, everything that God is. And it's nowhere in the world. It's right here in my right mind. My cup runneth over. I am so full. I have received it. And now I give it. Because to receive is to give. To give is to receive. Wow. So the next time someone offers you a gift, and you go, no. You haven't received God's love. You haven't received God's gifts. Next time you say someone wants to, give you money, or give you a house, or give you anything, give you a smile, and you block it, it's because you have not received it from the divine. It's there, but you're shut off. Can you feel that? That's why. They come from oneness. So fulfilling my function is my happiness because both come from the same source. I fulfill my function because I've never left God. There's nothing to forgive in heaven. I have received truth. I've received. And now I share. Wow. It's all coming from the same source because it is the I am in you that's doing the giving. It's the I am spirit in you that's doing the loving through you. But when you identify as the made-up self in this bag of dust body with your 5 senses that are, serving the teacher that you want to listen to, the ego or the spirit, I'm telling you, you won't receive anything except pain, 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 more pain. And I think the hardest thing for us to do is be present. We talked about Mr. Global. Oh, we get all involved in Mr. Global's life. Then we talk about the big pharma. We get all caught up in that. The hardest thing to do is to see it there and deny its power over you. I am here now. Beam me up. Where would you have me go? And that's why people today, I think, are moving around. Like they're letting go, they're moving up, they're dropping this, more people are waking up and coming into that, like that lion, we saw the beam of light. We're moving into that vertical, beautiful light and trusting through prayer and guidance. And pay attention to nothing. You see it. And, I'm the queen of knowing what's going on. That's all my Mercury. Curious George here. I like to know what's going on, but I deny its power. It's like, oh, here's another outpicturing of the ego's insanity. Here's another outpicturing of the belief in craziness. Now, God or ego? Spirit, which offers me everything, or body, that's limiting. Can you see why it's a process of undoing the ego's thought system? We're addicted. Jesus says, well, you must learn to recognize what makes you happy. If you are to find happiness, you have to recognize what would make you happy. What makes you happy is sitting in the portal of the Lion's Gate in the present moment and allowing the serenity and light of God to shine down on you. Now, Mother Sekhmet's not going to come into your bedroom tonight and say, well, listen, here's what you need to do. Don't get caught up in that. Or Jesus isn't going to come in and say, here, this is what I'll tell you to do. You have to go here and you have to do this and you have to do that. And no, it's not like that. And then maybe it is like that, where you are told specifically, or maybe it's a feeling, but it's about trust. Transferring trust in the ego, saying, oh, don't do that. Oh, you better, pay attention to big pharma. Make sure you listen to what they're saying. Make sure you take notes on what they're talking about, as if they have power over you or something. It's so mind-blowing how we love to be afraid. How we love to be afraid. And Jesus is just pulling us constantly, reminding us, you are the embodiment of love. You can transcend time and space. Miracles are natural, and if they're not happening, it's because you're addicted to fear. He says, Jesus asks us to apply the idea of the lesson as follows. He said, this cannot separate my happiness from my function. If you forgive the dream and move into present moment, into the eternity of this moment, you're happy. So they come from the same source. I'm one with the Christ in my right mind in God. I'm one with the Spirit. I forgive the world, give it all over, and I begin to see. Do you ever sit there and you do that and you feel tears come down your face? It's like, what happened? You remembered who you are. And time and space disappeared. And you were in eternity. In the quantum everything God, where everything is possible. It's not that you won't do anything in this world. In fact, listen, when you are serving the sonship, when you have gone up to the mountain like Jesus did and you are transfigured by the light because you have let go of every concept, you have let go of every belief, you have limiting belief, you have and belief, all beliefs, you've let go of all crazy thoughts. You have let go of everything and you walk with the legions. They say Metatron is the angel that puts the body of light on you. Oh my God, you just come down off that mountaintop and you're in the dream world. You know it's not real, but man, you become a beacon of light for the entire sonship. And Jesus says throughout the Course, it's not by what you say. It's the energy of who you are showing up as the resurrection and the life. So it's so powerful. He says, the oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. And then he reminds us in the workbook, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, do you have lots of things in your house that you're attached to? They're not going to last forever. He says, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you've chosen is valueless. The only thing of value is eternity, that which will never change. He says a temporary value is without all value. It's valueless. Everything in this world is valueless. Time can never take away a value that is real. Ah, the joy that I am, the truth that I am, the beauty that I am in my soul, the grace that I am. Time can't take that away because it has value, because it's what God made. Time cannot destroy it. What fades and dies was never there. Oh, what? Jesus says what fades and dies was never there, which includes your body. It was never there. And makes no offering to him who chooses it. Oh, think of all the things that fade and die. They were never there. And that's the end of that lesson. All right, so now let's look at some excerpts from Waking to Redemption. And again, I wrote this down because I find this to be so helpful as we're undoing the ego's thought system. It's a process. I mean, it's a journey without a distance. But because, just imagine all the lifetimes that you've lived, all the incarnations of different bodies and different roles you've played, and you've been a man and you've been a woman and you've been everything through time, right? Oh my God, could you imagine if you could see all the different lifetimes that you lived and who you've been, what you've done? No wonder it takes a while to undo it. And in truth, it's so paradoxical because if you just believed and you really got it, then all that would fall away. But, we're still sleeping. So there's lots of parts of the mind, it comes up. That's why if you're triggered by anything, bring it on. Bring it on. Do not fear. The only person that can be triggered by anything is the made-up self. And so if you're triggered, believe you're a body. Oh my God. And that is the source of your suffering. If you're triggered, there it is. Body identification. And now you got to defend yourself against that trigger, which you yourself put there on that person. Oh my God. So here's what you do. Jesus says, remind yourself of this. So we've got the lion's gate and we are under these powerful energies. We've got goddess Sekhmet. We have just the power of the legions of light workers with us. So when you're tempted, when you fall from that and you're tempted to judge a brother, even in your thoughts, You know how you sit there sometimes and you're like, oh yeah, well, you know, and you come up with whatever they're showing up, and you got this judgment about them. Well, you're talking about yourself. Hi, Michael. I love that. You always used to say that. Talking about yourself. Right? So we have these temptations to trust a brother. Jesus says, ask yourself, would I accuse myself of doing this? That is such a good line. And that just brings it right back to yourself. So that's really good. Like, put a post-it note where you can see it. And every time you feel a judgment, because remember, we're not here to judge. Our function is forgiveness. So when you're tempted to judge, ask yourself, would I accuse myself of doing this? And then, of course, no, we don't want to, but you found a part of yourself that you have not forgiven. You found a part of yourself that you have not forgiven. It's not about them. Those people don't exist. They're thoughts projected. Okay, remember, perception is an interpretation. That ego filter that's over your heart mind, it's blocking you from truth. So you're interpreting everything. That's why you get defensive. Someone says something and you're like, meh. You know, you have to have a curt little snide remark. You're trying to protect this made-up self. And eternity's waiting for you. And you're over here protecting this body because you're identified with that made-up self. Oh my God. So it's all interpretation. That's what you're perceiving, what you're interpreting everything that you perceive. That's why we have so many opinions in the world. Okay, it's not an objective fact. It's just not a fact. All right. This is from the text in chapter 24, which I think is really, really pertinent. Everything is pertinent in that book. I'm telling you, it's so powerful. Jesus says, to learn this course requires willingness to question every value that you hold. Question it. Does this bring me to eternity? Does this bring me peace? Every value that you hold. Not one can be kept hidden and obscure, but it will jeopardize your learning. So if you're attached to all these things and all these things that you value, it's going to jeopardize you learning that only love is real. Then he says, instruction in perception is your great need. For you understand nothing, because you're trying to understand a made-up world from a made-up self. You know how we try to figure it out? It's like, I really think that's, and and that's what that's about, and blah, blah, blah. Jesus says, no, instruction in perception is your need, great need. And you need someone to instruct you. You need a teacher in your right mind in God. And sometimes they show up as symbols in the world, but don't turn them into idols. Don't idolize a symbol or a mouthpiece for truth. My late husband, beautiful Aaron, he used to say, don't fall in love with the singer. Listen to the song. That's great. Don't idolize anybody. They're you. He says, recognize this, but do not accept it, for understanding is your inheritance. You, as the Son of God, when you're in your right mind in God, know everything. Because that Christ in you is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. So, you can't understand anything from wrong-mindedness. Recognize this, but do not accept it, for understanding is your inheritance. Perceptions are learned. Your parents taught you how to be a really good ego. No offense, parents. We all have parents. You're a parent. We teach each other how to be awesome egos, how to be identified with the world. Be the best, be the most beautiful, do this, do that, be this, be that. And we get, teach them how to fall in love with idols, singers in Hollywood, cars, houses, jewelry. Oh, we teach them how to stay in the separation because we of ourselves have not received the light. It's all good. I know. If you're going, oh my God, I was the worst mother ever, if you're saying that to yourself, the ego's gotcha. And that ego doesn't exist. That's for you to practice your function. Give it up, give it over. I give this to you in exchange for the miracle. Show me. Use this. Teach me with this. So Jesus says, perceptions are learned and you are not without a teacher. Yet your willingness to learn of him, the teacher in your right mind in God, is your willingness to question everything you learned of yourself. Have you done that yet? Question everything you've learned of yourself. What self? Did anyone tell you that you are magnificent because God created you? So question everything you taught yourself. You taught yourself, I can't do it. You taught yourself, I made a mess. You taught yourself, I'm ugly. You taught yourself. Oh gosh, perceptions are learned. And you are not without a teacher. Yet your willingness to learn of him, it depends on your willingness to question everything you learned of yourself. For you who learned amiss should not be your own teacher. The made-up you can never tell the made-up you how to fix it. Because the made-up you, which doesn't exist, but you believe does, has a whole list of what you need to feel pretty good, better, this, that. It has a whole list of how that can be fixed. It's going to teach you it's in the own insanity. Oh God. Can you see how we stay on that hamster wheel? It's insane. All right. So then, as long as you identify with the body, I think this is who I am. I haven't recognized or realized that this body carries the spirit around in service to the sonship on behalf of the Christ in me, like Jesus coming down from the mountain. Okay, so if we identify with the body, what's going to happen? You're going to see everything in the world as outside of you. And you're not going to realize that it's in your mind. That everything you see in the external world is the result of how you think. What's going on in your mind. Oh, that's why, being so wrapped up in this body is a big problem. Yeah, it's a big problem. And we just see that now in the world, right? All the people trying to make their bodies stay young, wrinkle-free, whatever. So attached to it, so full of fear, all of that. And again, if you're serving the spirit, well then my body, maybe the spirit wants to use me as a makeup artist. Right? That's okay. The question is always, who is using the body? If I'm having the spirit use my body on behalf of the sonship, well, I can be a makeup artist, a hairdresser, I can be a mechanic, I can be whatever. The spirit is using my body for that purpose. You're not attached to it. It has no meaning. It's a communication device. Jesus says in this chapter, resurrection refers only to the mind's awakening from the dream of death. The mind's awakening from the dream of death. He says, I am your resurrection and your life. Now the I am, Jesus is the symbol, but the I am is your Christ presence in you. So when you identify with the Christ in you, that is your resurrection in your life. You live in me, the Christ in me. You live there in me because I because you live in me because you live in God. So in my right mind, where the Spirit and the Holy Christ self resides, that's all in God. So I'm there. We're all there. And everyone lives in you. So everyone lives in me, as you live in everyone. Because when you are in your right mind in God, then you have received the goodness, you have received truth, and everyone you see is there with you. So you don't see hateful people, you don't see, you don't see sinners, you're not judging. What you see is a call for love. There's no judgment here. I see a call for love. Remember, if it's not love, it's a call for love. But if I have received, I am the resurrection and the life. I am one with my Holy Christ self. I have received it. I'm like Jesus, who comes down from the mountain now and goes into the sonship to serve. So I'm not saying, oh, look at that loser over there begging on the corner. No, I see a call for love. I don't make that real. I see it as a call for love. I don't go and say, oh, those people are so poor, they have no money, oh my God, there's so much suffering. Oh, no, Jesus doesn't identify with your suffering first and then try to fix it. Jesus stood as truth. The I am in you is truth. There is no sickness, there is no death, there is no pain, there is no lack, there is no scarcity, there is nothing but truth. But because you're there, I want to bring you home. So what am I going to do? I'm going to see that you're believing in lack as a call for love. So I'm not going to join with you in your crucifying belief over there begging on the corner. I'm going to stand here as truth and call your greatness forth just by holding truth. You're not that. That's a call for love. And because I've received love, I can receive you too. Wouldn't it be awesome to be like that 24/7? That's what we're here to do. And that's why we keep incarnating into bodies, because we are so wanting the body to be who we are. And as long as we want that body to be who we are, we cannot be in service to the sonship, because we'll see winners and losers. We won't see a call for love. We won't judge them first and then say, here, I'll give you money because you're poor. Jesus doesn't say that. No. You are what God created, and you have forgot. So let me hold truth for you and recognize you're actually calling out for love. That's how we serve. Wow. So then he says, believe in the resurrection because it has been accomplished, and it has been accomplished in you. You are on a journey without a distance. It's already done. The problem is when you fall into time and space and you walk that timeline as a body, identified and protecting and defending a self. Wow. This is as true now as it will ever be, says Jesus, for the resurrection is the will of God, which knows no time and no exceptions. God doesn't even know about time. No, because when you have received oneness, you're not in time either. It just seems like, okay, well, you're, still getting up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, going to the toilet, and all the things that you do. But you're not identified with any of it. So there is no time in your world. You're in eternity. That's why we hate being in the present moment. We don't want to be in the present moment. Because who's going to figure out my future? I need to make sure. So we avoid being present. We avoid being in eternity. Can you feel that? Can you see how many times you avoid being present because you like to stir up the drama? I can see that for myself. And if I can see it, I'm sure you can see it. Okay. All right. So then Jesus says, for the resurrection is the will of God, which knows no time and no exceptions. And make no exceptions yourself, or you will not perceive what's already been accomplished for you. So if you say, yeah, well, that's true here, but not there. He says, nope, without exception. Without exception. It's been accomplished in all areas. Behind that seeming difficulty that you're wanting to figure out, everything is already done. The resurrection is already accomplished. For we ascend unto the Father together, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. For such is the nature of God's Son, as his Father created him. The resurrection is not an event in time and space. It is the return of your mind to right-mindedness. You're not a body. Your body's in your mind. So how can it be an event in time and space? Your body is in your mind with God. That was the whole joke, if you will, the story of Jesus' life, the resurrection, the crucifixion, the transfiguration. It's told on a timeline so we can understand it. But there was no birth and there was no death, because the body is in the mind and not the other way around. Wow. Then he says, do not underestimate the power of the devotion of God's Son, nor the power the God he worships has over him. For he places himself at the altar of his God, whether it be the God he made or the God who created him. Whatever teacher you want to be true for yourself, if you are identified with the ego, then you have the power of God behind that, in that sense. That whole energy of God, it's like a tsunami of energy behind that. But you yourself have placed yourself there. Wow, and now you get the karma of a mistaken belief. And that's what keeps us incarnating. So then he says, that is why his slavery into the prison planet, your slavery is as complete as your freedom. You can't have both. You're either in total freedom because you identify with the spirit. You can't bring spirit into nothingness. You can't. You are spirit. The body is in the mind. You are spirit. In this world, you are identified as a body. In the ego's domain, in the world, they all mean the same thing. And you're trying to escape from that with a mind that is believing it's separate from God. And that keeps you on the timeline, reincarnating, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, because you so want this world and your beliefs and your concepts and your constructs and your private mind and your private self and all your private stuff that you've got in your jewelry boxes and in the lock and key in the bank. You all want that to be real. And that just keeps you coming back to the same pain and suffering. Yeah. He says the God of crucifixion, the ego, it demands that you crucify and his worshipers obey. So when you are in the body and you're identified as a body with the ego demands that you crucify people, and it demands that you worship it. So how does that show up? Lots of idols. Lots of idols in the dream world. You worship your car, your house, people. It distracts you so that you can, this is your God, the ego is your God, and you're worshiping all the idols that it has you attached to and addicted to. In his name, the ego, you crucify yourself. That's what you're doing in this prison planet. protecting the body, defending your mistaken identity, protecting it. You're crucifying yourself and staying in a prison planet with Mr. Global and Big Pharma and the big tech and the military and whatever else that comes from the projection of fear. In prison, you're in prison. Believing that the power of the Son of God is born of sacrifice and pain. The ego wants you to believe that love requires sacrifice. Good Lord, in the morning. Why? And it's true, because you don't want to give up your belief in the body. It feels like a sacrifice, doesn't it? If I go over here and be one with God, well, what's that going to give me? Everything. But because you have not had enough direct experiences of peace and joy and everything God in your life, in your body, in your relationships, you'll keep clinging to idols. We keep clinging to the dictates or the demands that the ego makes on us, because we can identify with the pain and suffering, and everyone says, well, that's what the world's about. There's a little suffering here. Even in Buddhism, life is suffering. We're taught this. The ego's laws around religion, culture, marriage, relationships, the ego's laws are totally insane. They're backwards. And they're 180 degrees away from the laws of heaven. See, the laws of heaven, you all know the story when I met my late husband, Aaron. Beautiful soul. Well, I didn't know this man from Adam. And he asked me to marry him. Like that. And I said, yes, like that. Now, the ego's laws would say, well, that's dumb. You don't know this man? Are you out of your mind? What do you think you're doing? You should give it at least 2 years. You should do this. No, but when you are in alignment with the Spirit, you will be told what to do, what to say, where to go. You will be told. And because you've transferred your trust from fear to love, it's like, yep, I will marry you. Let's do this. It's love, eternal love, agape love, has nothing to do with time and space. It's eternity. It's eternal love. And you can only know that in the moment. And then I said to him, I don't want to know anything about your past. He said, what kind of a woman are you? I don't want to know anything about your past. Why? So I can judge? So I can decide if you're lovable? No. I know. So in the ego's world, that is impossible. But in spirit, the Spirit knows that this relationship will help you wake up. How do you know what's going to help you wake up? Oh, you think you do. We go and protect all our stuff. That's going to help me wake up. I'm going to be safe in my little house and not going to let them in. And we don't want her over here and keep you there, because that's what I need. Because I read in the Course in Miracles. See, if you're reading the Course from a split mind, you'll use it to justify your shenanigans. Because you can twist it. Ego's clever. But in the realm of spirit, we're all one. And whatever is placed in front of you is put there for your awakening. It's a waking to redemption. Wow. The God of resurrection demands nothing, for he does not will to take away. There's no sacrifice in love. In God's love, there is absolutely no sacrifice, because what was not born never dies. That was the message of the crucifixion and the resurrection. He does not require obedience, for obedience implies submission. Who are you being obedient to? Mr. Global? The God of love requires no submission. No submission. This is a prison planet, guys. This is a prison. Identifying with the body is a prison that you yourself put yourself in so you can be right about your mistaken belief that you've actually pulled off the impossible. What's God's answer to that in the Course? Inconceivable. Never happened. He would only have you learn your will and follow it. What is your will? Peace. What is your will? Forgiveness. What is your will? Joy, happiness, harmony. Why is it your will? Because you are what God created, not what you made up. What you made up will kill you. It's killing you now. Look at all the sicknesses going on. It's killing you slowly. Remember that song? Killing me. Oh, that was Killing Me Softly. Killing me softly with his, yeah. Killing you softly over time. See? Over time. Killing you softly with a song. What's the song? Pain is real. Suffering's expected. Life is suffering. Life has this, lack. Life, no, one problem. You forgot who you are. One solution. Right-mindedness. Jesus says he would only have you learn your will and follow it, not in the spirit of sacrifice and submission. You think God's going to ask you, submit, get down on your knees. You know, look at back in remember that movie, what was it? And he beat himself with, you got to be good enough for God. Oh, God requires and demands suffering. You've got to be in pain to receive him because you're such a rotten person. Oh, thank you, religion. Those are the ego's laws. There are no laws in heaven. There's only oneness. God doesn't ask you to do anything in the spirit of sacrifice and submission, but in the gladness of freedom. The ego is harsh. It's like an explosive nuclear bomb and worse. It's evil at its finest. It's vicious and suspicious. It has no good intent for your life. None. And you are not the ego. You are what God created. Oh, all right. How are we doing? Oh, just got a few minutes. Oh, that's so perfect. We've got one section here left. Resurrection must compel your allegiance gladly. So today we are walking into redemption with Mother Sekhmet and all the glorious spirit at our side. And to the resurrected mind at one with God. And the resurrection must compel our allegiance gladly because it is the symbol of joy. Its whole compelling power lies in the fact that it represents what you want to be. Actually, you want to be joyous. In your right mind in God is the memory of joy. In your right mind in God is the memory of sweetness. In your right mind in God is the memory of oneness. Do you ever look into, if you're an animal lover, Dina, with your kitty cats, my Wally, our animals. Sometimes for the animal lovers, we can look into an animal's eyes. We can't even look into a person's eyes and feel it. Well, maybe sometimes, but we can look into an animal's eyes and somehow we see this unconditional love shining back at us. Our dogs and cats, these unconditional, they're just, and that's the symbol that the Spirit will use to open your heart and melt it to this oneness. If only we could do that with all people. People have become animal lovers at the they leave people out and just fall in love with animals, and people are like, it's all a mess. Anyway, all right. So the freedom to leave behind everything that hurts you and humbles you and frightens you cannot be thrust upon you, but it can be offered you through the grace of God. And you can accept it by His grace. For God is gracious to His Son. You are His Son. S-U-N, the light of the world. Accepting Him without question as His own. So today, Father, I accept you, I receive you, and in my receiving you, I give of you. Thank you, Jesus, for this beautiful, beautiful message in this lesson, in this chapter. It's just so wonderful. And I didn't read the whole thing, but we got the gist of it. And it's so beautiful and fitting for the Lion's Gate portal. So once again, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you can feel the grace of God surround you right now. And I hope that that grace gives you the fuel you need for the week, for each day until we meet again. And with that being said, thank you for your giving, your sharing, your light, and your donations. Just thank you for you. And I'm sending you a million hugs and kisses and lots of love, and that's from Jamie and I both. So have a wonderful week and a restful night, my Western friends and family, and we'll see you in another week. Bye for now. Bye.